Hey everybody, it's Misty. Today we're gonna talk about doing flat back embellishments with hot glue. I have piddled with this some. I've not done a lot with it, but I have done some of them. And so what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to show you the supplies that I use. And then I will bring in some of the ones that I've done in the past. I'm going to continue, obviously, to work on it and practice. So I thought maybe we could do that a little bit together today. So the supplies that I have in front of me are my mini hot glue gun, which is over here out of frame. It's heating up. And then I have a mold. When you guys are getting your molds, if you're intend to do this, you want to make sure you get something that is meant to release hot things out of it. The fondant molds, I've never tried those. I do have a couple of candy molds, and those work well. But I just fell in love with a couple of the Prima modes. They're a little more expensive, but sometimes there are things that, as you know, we just have to have. So, like I said, this is the mold, the silicone mold that I have. And I know there is a shadow on there, and I have tried everything to get it off there. I don't have a desk light to take care of that for me. So I wanted to see if I could get this a little closer so you can see the details of it. It's really a beautiful mold. I have another one, and I'm going to be working in this one today. This one is a little more, even more detailed. I've done a couple things in it. I did a couple of roses with it. The scissors I would love to do. I'm not that good yet. You have to really get down in there and make sure you get every little crease and crack and crevice filled. So that will be something I'm going to have to practice a little more on. So I have one more, and I haven't opened it yet. Like I said, obviously I splurged. And I don't know if you can see, I have an overhead light, and it sometimes puts a glare on there. It's like a big shop light. It's for old eyes. But anyway, there is the other Prima mold. That one is from the watercolor floral line. Give me just a second and I'll tell you what the other two are from. Oh, actually I have another mold too. So the one with the scissors is from the My Sweet line. This one here is from the Pumpkin and Spice line. They're all Prima. And then I have this one, which is the Nature Lover line of paper products from Prima. So I haven't opened those two that I just showed you in the package. So again, I'm kind of got off track there, but I want to get back to the supplies that I have here in front of me. So obviously that's my mold that we're going to work on today. The hot glue gun over to the side. In saying that, kind of going off track just a little bit here again. If you guys have these, they're the Pampered Chef flat cutting mats, the little cheaper ones. These are amazing for you can, obviously you can cut on them with like your razor knife or X-Acto knife and stuff, but they're also good for hot stuff. And I use them, you know, if I think something may stain or something like that. I don't care if it gets stained. So, but they are basically a good crafting mat for the most part. Now, there's no padding to them or anything like that, but just a little side note. So underneath my other supplies, I have one of the Ranger silicone mats. Love, love, love this. I don't remember how expensive it was, but it wasn't really expensive, but I love it. It helps, which on the glass, most things are going to slide, but it does help keep things from sliding like that you're working on. Obviously, also it's good. It's heat resistant. It's pretty stain resistant. So good investment right there. I'm pretty fond of Ranger products, in all honesty. I have numerous Ranger products. I have never had an issue with any of them. Ranger Tonic, the Tim Holtz line, I am a huge fan of. Probably spend too much money on it, but I love it. So good products, good quality. Prima also, I've had really good luck with Prima. So anyway, let's get back to this. Yes, I go just kind of off track a little bit, and I'm pretty bad about that sometimes. So here, obviously, I have a wide range of different colors of glue sticks. These are for the mini glue gun. So when I first decided to do this, I thought, well, I want to get a range of colors. You can get some at the Dollar Tree. Mostly it's the glitter ones, but I wanted some that weren't glitter. So of course, good old Amazon saved the day. So I got a couple of different assortments. Did not spend a whole lot of money on them. I've had really good luck with them. The ones, you know, that the little bit that I've tried with them and worked with them. The one thing I will say is when you're working on something and like this, and you want a specific color, well, there's a lot of glue that goes down in there. It doesn't really look like it so much, but believe me, there is. Those little glue sticks do not go far. So if you say, for instance, you know, you want to do this leaf in like a glitter gold or green or rust or whatever color, you want to make sure that you have at least a couple of that color and have them handy so that you can get them into your glue gun one right after another so they stay hot. You want to be able, I have found by experience, you want to be able to fill the entire compartment at one time. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, or if you're doing like a couple of them I tried, and like I said, I still need more practice at this, but sorry, there's a little like fiber down in there and I was trying to get it out. But a couple of them that I've tried, I have tried to do different colors, and some of them I did okay on. Practice, it's going to take more practice. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that I made not too long ago. We'll start with those. I don't know if you can, how well you can see them. So I've got 3 of the leaves. Now, on this one, I am gonna have to do a little bit of trimming around those little edges. No big deal. Just take your little snips and clean them up. Here's a few more that I did. these are these little lines here where it has words on them. One of them's give, the other one's thanks. I don't think I did a couple of the thanks. I didn't do any of the fall, I don't think. So those are a little, I've found those are a little trickier, from my experience anyway. So, but like I said, I need more practice. And what I think I'm gonna do with these, in all honesty, is just so I can practice on these, take some paint or like some of the wax, or I don't know how well ink, the ink pads will stick to it, but maybe the pigment inks, and just kind of rub lightly over the letters, the raised letters, and see how that works. I haven't done it yet. Like I said, I still want to play with it and experiment with it a little more. So here are a couple of the ones that I have tried to do different colors on, multiple colors. Like I said, some of these I need to trim up a little bit, but as you can see kind of how they turned out. Let me get them in here. Okay, so I'll start with just a couple at a time. The other thing too is you want to make sure that if you're, wanting something really specific, make sure your glue gun's empty from the color prior. You may get a little bit of bleed over if it's not. So on this one, obviously I did the sunflower, just kind of playing with it. I don't know how well you guys can see those. The pumpkin. I want to talk about the pumpkin. This is, like I said, from experimenting, just playing with it. So the pumpkin, I had to, when I got to this color down here, you can see I had to refill my glue gun. So that's why it's got those little like swirlies in it. Those set up, it sets up pretty quickly. So the other thing with that is, and I'll show you this more when we start doing a couple of them, is when you're putting the glue in, you can move your hand around a little bit, but I try to stay as centered and, in one area as possible, and just let it flow normally. I found that you get a smoother result. So this one actually probably turned out to be my best one. So that is the rose from the other mold. And experimenting with different colors, I think it actually turned out pretty well. Here is, and like I said, I've got to trim some of the edges on these. Here's a butterfly. Once it's trimmed up, I think it'll be fine. So let's get into doing a couple of these. They set up, like I said, they set up pretty quickly. And when I did the ones that I just showed you, it did not take long at all to be able to pop them out of there. So give me just 1 second. Sorry, I had to take a little swig of my coffee. So I'm going to start, I'll bring my glue gun over. I have glass mason, like mason jar coasters. Those are like the best glue gun holders without, buying something that's made specifically for them. So that's what I keep my glue gun on. The little stand catches on it, and usually, well, I say that, usually it sets right up. So that's what I keep my glue gun on. So I'm gonna move that back over. I'm gonna start, like I said, with the green. This is the little glue gun that I have. I have the full-size one of that brand also. I've had really good luck with them. Just keep in mind, I don't know that any of the mini ones get really, really hot. So just keep that in mind when you're doing colored stuff. So right now I have like a green, I think it's this green that has a little bit of transparency to it. So I'm going to go in, I think, with a darker green, and once the one that I have in there is out, it's finished, we'll see a little bit of that darker green. Sorry, I wanted to squeeze some of it out and make sure it was flowing. So with the little areas, I try to start with those first. And that's why I end up having to trim some of them off, because I get messy. So just squeeze it in. Try to go to each little individual crease and crevice as much as you can get into it, and just fill it up. So this one I'm hoping turns out really well. I put that other glue stick in there, so may make it a little bit of like the swirly effect, because I didn't have it in there to heat up as much as I probably should have. On the back, I don't mess with it once it's in there. Sometimes I'll pat the surface and it'll settle a little bit. I don't mess with it much. Once I go in and, excuse me, trim off the little edges that I've overflowed a little bit, I don't have any trouble with them. So, but again, I haven't done a ton of them. I'm gonna go ahead and go into this one with the green, and that way I can get that green out of there. And I may actually bring in one of the other molds. Come on. That's the other bad thing about these little bitty ones, glue guns, is that I feel like I'm squeezing the trigger constantly. Now, as you know, these glue guns, you have to have something in the end for it to push through. So I usually will take one of the sticks, and before it gets, you know, down in there too far. Now that one's gonna look funny because I didn't have enough glue to finish it there. It's not pushing it through, but I wanna change color. So I'm gonna change to, let's see, let's do a glitter, a gold glittery one after the green. See how that looks. Let's go ahead and fill this other leaf up with the green. And we'll probably, I may go into some of the gold. And I really don't mind when the colors mix like that, unless I'm trying to do something real specific, which I haven't, you know, to this point, because I've just really kind of practiced and played with a little bit. So I don't want to put anything on a project that I'm not comfortable with, you know, that it looks really nice. That's why I've just practiced and played with it, and that's what you got to do. And that goes really with all your embellishments or pages or whatever, you know. If it's something that you've not done a whole lot or you struggle with, just practice. We all have to do that. So I am hoping I get into some of the gold. See if it comes through. You can see the difference in the greens, the colors of the greens. So, and I don't like these little stringies from the hot glue. So I'm gonna get rid of those. Let's see what we can do with one of these. The words that are down in there are really, really small. So you gotta really, really go over it well so that it gets down in there. Starting to see some of the glitter come through, the gold. So that one's probably gonna look a little funny, but that's okay. Just kind of playing with it today. So pull that little stringy off. You know what, I'm going to let's see how the gold does. We're just gonna fill this mold up, going with whatever colors we decide to play with. See how that does. Uh-oh, I wasn't prepared with another glue stick, so let's put another gold one in there. See how it does. So it'll grip and go through. I would love it if I could get some of the full-size ones in these, but you would need a smaller tip for your glue gun, and I've not found one. Okay, so let's go into this one. We're still getting a little bit of the green in there. So that's what I was talking about when I told you to, you know, if you wanted a specific color on something, you're gonna have to heat your glue gun up, and before you put the color in that you want, make sure that it's all out of the tube in there, and make sure it's off of your tip. That's where some of my green is coming from. I noticed before I started that there was some green on there, so let's go into, you know what, I'm gonna take the gold, the second gold, the last gold I put in there, I'm gonna take it out of there, and I'm gonna go in with, let's do one of these yellows. Let's see how that comes out now. I'm gonna pull that little drip out of there. See if I can get some of that green off of my tip. Okay, there we go. All right, let's try the yellow and the gold. Well, I didn't get all the green, obviously. Might turn out looking kind of cool. All right, make sure you go into those little leaves and little crevices, and that'll settle down in there. So don't worry, you know, about it getting into every little crevice, but you want to go into each little area so that, you know, it can settle down in there. This one's going to be kind of interesting looking, I guess, with the yellow, green, and gold. Okay. On this one, I really didn't want to do a yellow pumpkin. I'm gonna pull one of these other molds out and see what we can do in it. this one is actually pretty detailed. So I'm gonna do one of the fern leaves. I think I'll do the bird. So it's obviously gonna be a yellow bird. Now, I've been told that you can, you know, you can paint them, you can use the wax, you know, some of the waxes and different coloring, different ways to color them. So that one I'm going to get some of that swirly in, so we'll see how it comes out. Because I'm worried about talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. My glue gun's, the trigger is squeaking. Now, let's see how that bird claw, now that one's, I have to trim that up, obviously, after it comes out. So we'll see how that sets up. Okay. So I think you kind of get the gist of how to do it. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm going to go back to this one. And these are set up. And as you can see with these Prima molds, and like I said, they're a little more expensive. And I've not tried a lot with the candy molds, but it just pops right out. So, and you get a good, you know, a good leaf or whatever you're working on. So we'll pop that one out. Now, if it has little, like the legs on the bird, you have to be careful on those because they can, it's kind of, the texture of it obviously is rubbery like the glue sticks before they go in. So you can see how those turned out. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame. Let's see how these did. So you can't see, it just looks like a little bar, but there are actually letters on that. We'll see what we can do with them. That one's still a little warm. That one, actually, the letters on that one came out pretty raised, so I've got some of the metallic Art Alchemy metallic wax right here, so we'll see if that goes on well. So that's kind of what you get when you're doing these. I go in, like I said, that one's still a little warm, not hot but warm. So I just take my little Tim Holtz snips, and those little edges that are where I like overflowed or overfilled the mold, I just go in with my little snips and snip it right off. No big deal. Non-stick, so I'm talking about my snips. The snips are non-stick. So I think you can kind of see what I'm doing there. They works really well. I'm not going to do all those since we're on video. I just wanted to show you, give you an idea. So now I'm going to get this wax out. I have never worked with this wax, guys, so we'll see. As you know, we've been doing some of the mixed media stuff, so I wanted to get some of the wax for that. Now, this wax used to come in like little tubs, but they've put it in the tubes now. And on the reviews and stuff, I saw a lot of people were complaining about the tubes, because with the wax you could just kind of go in with your finger and or in the tin, and then with the tubes, obviously, ooh, sorry, I got sidetracked there. That wax looks really good and is defining all the little grooves and crevices really well. I got a lot down in that one, so let's clean that out a little bit. So simple, you guys, so simple. See the difference? Let's do, get a little more wax on my finger here. I know really how much to, let's try this one with the letters on it. Oh, of course I glob it on there. That's going to take some more practice for me. Not great at it. Don't know what I did there. So you can see it did define the letters some. I'm sure that it's more user error than the fault of the wax. Let me see. I'm trying to find the ones I had earlier. Oh, right there in front of me. Just a little more of the wax. I'm going to dab it on my glass mat. That one was kind of a gold color prior with the little swirls in it. I don't know that I really like the ones with the letters and the words. I don't feel like they're defined enough. I don't know that I'll use those a whole lot. But I really, really like the way it, turned out. The leaves have turned out on there. I got that one because I'm going to be doing a project, a gift for a friend that is going to be a nature themed project. So, wow, I really like how that looks. Really like how it looks. I don't know how well you guys can see that. So, okay. Probably looks ridiculous and probably going, okay, get in frame, idiot. But I try. I'm trying. So let's put that away. And I got a little bit of paint out. This one is a Little Birdie Crafts metallic paint, and it's metallic, tinted metallic is what it says. We'll see how it looks. This one's not been opened. I'll shake it a little bit. Hey, just a little off side note here. If you guys have, and some of you probably already know this, and I may not be telling you anything new, but if you have paint that is in the little tins like this, and I actually like the Nouveau mousse and things like that, all of mine, once they're open, okay, that may be a trick for me, is getting this open. Oh goodness, of course. Pierce it with my scissors. Good thing those clean easily too. So once these are opened, before I close them back up, I cover every single one of them with, you can use saran wrap, but I've had really, really good luck with the press and seal. I keep a roll of it up here in my craft room specifically for that. Anything that could dry up, my gesso, my molding paste and texture paste and any of that kind of stuff. Once it's open, before I close it back up, I put some of the press and seal on it. So ooh, that's a pretty color, guys. I don't know how well you can see it with, there's maybe a glare, it's shiny. So I got a paintbrush, and I'm gonna pull this one over a little bit. Or maybe the gold. Let's do the gold one because that one's got different colors in it. So pull this gold one over and see how well this paint goes on. I don't know how well. Not a lot of color to it. Here we're getting some. I don't know that I shook it up enough. So we'll see how that looks. And obviously I'm not doing a really good job. Not that I'm real good at painting anyway, but that just added a little bit of a different, you know, sheen to it. Added some color into it. And I think I was kind of leery of and wondering how well things will stick on it. So we'll see how that sets up. But I think you could use any of your paints and stuff on them. Let me grab, oh, you know what, I have a little tube of paint right here at the top of my desk. I have a mess is what I have on my desk. Let's see if I can dab a little bit out onto my mat. It's just about gone. I need a bunch. Oh, there we go. Just a little dollop. And I will put press and seal on that after we're done with the video. Okay. Rinse my paintbrush out just a little bit. Oh, I'm just making a mess, as usual. Okay, let's see what we got here. So we'll do this leaf. Let's see what we can do with this is just matte paint. Liquitex acrylic paint. I love their paint too. It's not super expensive and it has a good consistency to it. You can thin it down if you need to with a little bit of water, or I've thickened it up, you know, with like the white gesso or different things like that. I play with them a little bit and see what I can do with them. But like I said, I don't claim to be an artist by any means, because I'm far from it. So, and really I'm not trying to get, you know, technical with, or, you know, make it look pretty at this point. I just really kind of wanted to see how it goes on. So I think you could get a good coat on there, and it, because it was the dark green and I'm putting a light color on, you know, probably need a second coat once it dries. So, okay, well, I think I have rambled on enough. Before we go, I'll pop the bird out of that last mold, and we'll see how it goes. So I just, you know, press on the bottom a little bit, and honestly, ladies, they pop right out of those molds. And of course it needs trimmed where I've overfilled a little bit, but so there you have it. I hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial, and I hope you take time to mess around with the colored glue sticks and see what you can do with them. So thank you guys, and Have a great day.